Hi, and welcome to another episode of All Things Considered. Tonight, I'm going to do the video that I talked about in the previous video that I just did. Yes, I'm doing two back to back. That's why I have the same shirt on. I'm doing two videos back to back. This one is the subject matter that I wanted to speak to you about. And the reason I'm going to talk to you about this is because tonight I was watching an episode of the TV show Designated Survivor. And well, actually, not tonight. I was watching it last night. Designated Survivor. And in that TV series, Designated Survivor, there was a governor of Michigan that was holding back and not allowing Muslims to live in their neighborhoods. The police were being called in. It was a catastrophe. The Muslims were being arrested left and right. In the TV series, let me back up. The Capitol building had just been bombed. There was parts of the United States government and military that was trying to get the president to believe that it was a terrorist attack, al-Shakar, and that they were the ones behind it when they weren't really. But that's what the federal government and the military was trying to get them to believe. Now, having said that, the reason I'm going to do this video is because in that episode, the President of the United States took the National Guard and federalized them, which meant that they were under the federal jurisdiction. And why is that important to know? I'll explain it. When the Founding Fathers created the United States and got everything started, and we got the Bill of Rights. Well, let me back that up. We got the Declaration of Independence first, then the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. In the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, it was common knowledge that America had what was known as a well-regulated militia to fend off against a tyrannical government. Now, when the federal government decided that they didn't want future residents to overthrow them, they started putting into place laws, and they started putting in statutes that made it illegal for the American public to overthrow the government like the Founding Fathers suggested us do when America gets to the point where it's no longer fit for Americans' future and future freedom. When the government puts that into jeopardy, the American public is supposed to be able to overthrow said government and put in a new government. But the federal government, over time, figured out a way to stop us from doing that and making it illegal. So what the Founding Fathers gave us as a mandate to do, the federal government figured out a way to stop us. And what I'm going to look up right now is the National Guard, and I'm going to find out exactly when. When was the National Guard put into play? Yeah. Active English colonial government militias since December 13th, 1636. As National Guard since 1824. The reason I'm saying this is because in the early 1900s, I don't know the exact date, but I'm sure that we can look it up later, when the federal government decided to federalize the National Guard, they took away our right to use a well-regulated militia. And anybody that enacts a well-regulated militia is made out to be terrorists, made out to be idiots, made out to be un-American. And all we're trying to do is keep our state and our local towns and townships out of the hands of the federal government. And I don't mean that the federal government's bad. What I'm saying is that in case the federal government decided to become a tyrannical government and step in and take away all of our rights and freedoms, which they are starting to do, by the way, we no longer have a way to do that. So the important thing is to get back to where we have a well-regulated militia. Well, there's a lot of people out there that don't think we need a well-regulated militia because we have the police department and we have the sheriff. America has become lazy, extremely lazy, very lazy, horribly lazy, because we do not do what we are mandated by our founding fathers to do. We are to have a well-regulated militia. We are to protect ourselves from a tyrannical government. When said government gets to the point where they are putting our future and our future freedom into jeopardy and our present freedoms into jeopardy, taking away our rights, turning rights into privileges, which they've done with the right to free travel, using the mode of transportation of the day, which is under life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and is backed up by the Ninth Amendment, as a matter of fact. The federal government has figured out a way to force us to get a driver's license so they can keep us under their thumb. That's all I'm going to say about that for now, because I want to keep this kind of short. So, the federal government has taken away our right to a well-regulated militia. The American public have got on board, and they don't think we need it, and they think that the ones that are in a well-regulated militia are nothing but a bunch of kooks. And we're in the cuckoo's nest. Having said that, I believe we need a well-regulated militia. So, when the National Guard can be federalized, that means that they have no right to stand up against the government. If the government wanted to take over the state that you're in, the government could effectively do that. And the National Guard could not stop them. The National Guard would have to be under their jurisdiction, hence the name National Guard. Not State Guard, not City Guard, not Town or Township Guard, but National Guard. Anyway, I'm going to leave you on that note. If you have something to add to this video, please put it in the comments below. I would really like to talk to you about it. If you know more than I do about the National Guard, if you know more than I do about well-regulated militias and why they're no longer allowed in this country, this good old US of A, please put a comment below. I'd love to talk to you about it. Anyway, hit that thumbs up. If you like my video, put a big old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button as well. Can't do it without you. This has been All Things Considered. Have a good night, America, and all points beyond.